Okay, welcome to this tutorial, and in this video I'm going to be showing you guys how to link off to files in a directory. So this is what I do currently on my website right here. This is updated since my last video. Is what it does is I can open the code real quick. So you can see right here that what it does is it sets a directory, and the directory is files, and this is relative to the page, the downloads page, and it opens the directory and then it reads every single file inside of the directory, and then it just displays it on the page. So that's what I'm going to be showing you how to do, and it's very useful if you say you have a big directory with a bunch of files and you just want to link off to them, but you're constantly updating that directory and adding or removing files, and you don't want to have to keep updating a database or just updating a page in general. So that's what PHP is so handy about, is you can do things like this, and it's so simple. So this is like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This is like 10 lines of code tops. So it's real simple. So yeah. So the first thing we're going to do is in my directory here, I'm going to close that. In my directory here, it's in my tutorials folder and then files in a directory. And I have my index page and a blank 1.zip file. So it's just a zip file. There's nothing inside of it. I can open it up. There's literally nothing inside of it. I just created a blank zip file. And that's just to show that this does work. Now, I'm going to create a new folder, and I'm just going to call this files. You can call the directory or the folder whatever you want. So now I'm going to go back to our index page. So on the page, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to create a variable, and we're just going to call it dir. It's short for directory. You can call this whatever you want, but yeah. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to set it to nothing, or forward slash, or no, we'll just start with files. So we'll set it to files /. So what that does is that's going to be the directory that's going to be holding all of our files. So I'm just going to drag the file into that file, into that directory. So the next thing we're going to do, we're going to put in an if statement, and we're going to put a variable inside of it, and we're going to say open dir. So if we're able to open the directory, we're going to run the block of code that's going to be beneath this. But if we can't open the directory, we're going to have an else, and we're just going to echo could not open folder. So just something simple. So we could not open the folder. So right here, we want to put open dir equals read dir, and then we're going to have parentheses, and inside of this, we're just going to put our directory variable. So we're going to have that. So then we're just going to echo out something, and we're just going to say opened, I guess. So I'm going to go back to the page here and refresh. Oh, that's why it's not read dir, it's open dir. Sorry. So we have opened, so it's open dir, not read dir. That's later. We want to do something else with the read. So it's opening our directory, obviously. So if I put in some other name, so if I change the directory name, and obviously this directory does not exist. So that means we're going to get the error, because we could not open the folder, because the folder doesn't exist. So we're just going to get an error there. So you get an error, PHP error, if the directory doesn't exist. So we've opened our directory. Now what we want to do is we want to get rid of this echo statement. So inside of here, we want to put in a while loop. Because assuming that you have multiple files inside of your directory, which I'm going to actually create, I'm just going to copy it and paste it a bunch of times. So we have five files. They can be whatever type of file you want. It's just zip files are easily linkable, so you can link off and it'll start downloading the file. But if it's like a text file, it'll just open it in the browser, which is kind of annoying. So we want to go back to our page here, And we're going to create a variable inside of our while loop, and we're going to call it file. And the file is going to be reader, and we want to put in the directory, or our open directory. So open dir. So what we're doing is we're storing every single file that is inside of our directory, our files directory, and we're storing it in a variable called file. So if I just echo out the file, $file, our variable, we refresh the page, you see we have this. We have 3 dots, and then we have each of the files, but they're not separated by anything. So I'm just going to put a line break here, and see each of these is on a new line. So inside of here we have a dot, a double dot, and then each of our files. Now the reason we have these dots are because this dot, a single dot, that means the current directory, and the double dots equals the directory above this. So in this case, the current directory would be files, and the directory above this would be our root directory with our index page in it. So what we want to do is we don't want to display those. And the reason being is because they're obviously not files. So if we link off to them, it's just going to be retarded. So we want to say if $file equals, and then parentheses, or not parentheses, double quotation marks, and then a period. And then we want to say and, so 2 and signs, $file equals, quotation marks, double dots. So what that's going to do is if the, whoops, this should be not equals, so question mark equals. So, ooh, there we go. So if the file does not equal a dot or a double dot, that means it's a valid file, and so we're just going to display that. So if we refresh, you can see it gets rid of the dots, which is exactly what we want it to do. Now, say you have like a file in this directory you don't want displayed. All you have to do is you can just copy and paste this, and inside of here you just want to put the file name, so say index.php. So if there was an index.php file in here, it wouldn't display the file in our list. So that's just, it's real simple to do that. So what we're going to do now is we're going to make each of these a link. So href equals, and we're simply going to link it to the directory and then the file. And now the reason we're not putting a slash in between here is because our directory variable already has that slash in it. So it's just, we don't want to have a double slash because we could run into errors. And our file already contains the current file. So the first file is blank1.zip, so it'll automatically include that extension. Sorry. So right there, we want to end the link, and then we want to have our break, our line break. So now you can see that all of these are links. Now you can't see this because it's at the bottom of the page down here. You might have been able to see that. So if I click on one of these, it opens up a save file dialog. So we can click save or we can click cancel. So this works for every single file in this directory. So say I clicked on the files again and just pasted them a bunch more times. So now there are a bunch of files in here, and we refresh the page, you can see that the list just gets longer and longer. So it's updated depending on whatever is in the directory. So just a quick tutorial. Thanks for watching, and yeah.